Shazam 16, Josie Campbell writing with Dan McDade on the art. So Freddy is in dick mode and likes to remind.
Not Grayson. All right, we're talking.
No, just a dick.
Yes.
not Dick Grayson Esquire. No.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a really funny issue. I was laughing pretty consistently at this. It does some status quo stuff. It establishes that Mary and the Captain have both joined the Justice League, so it does sort of loosely reference what's going on with All In and all that. But we also see that there's another superhero on the streets, because Billy comes in thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be on the news. The Captain saved a bunch of stuff," and he sits down to watch the news, and it's the Commander, which is what Freddy's calling himself, because they're like, "Hey, wait, you're the older brother of the Captain? Does that make you Captain Senior?" I'm like, "Well, no, because that would be his father, you idiot." He's like, "No, I'm the Commander. It outranks Captain, don't you know?" And I'm like, this is so funny.
I'm just saying the Shazam naming conventions are only rivaled by Lucha Libres, right? Where you'll have Rey Mysterio Jr., but also Rey Mysterio 2. And they're different because of the lineage. And here, we have, the Captain Senior or the Commander and the Captain and all this other stuff. It's very funny.
Yeah, just entertaining. Billy getting pissed about it. Also, you hear the parents argue. Well, not arguing, but they're just being worried.
They're concerned
about their financial status, and basically paying this lawyer to deal with all the adoption stuff is racking up the costs. But Mary comes in and is like, she's looking at her phone, and she's like, "Wait, why did Freddy name himself the Commander in the family text chain?" And she's clearly not seen the news yet, so hearing that out of context from her was really funny, I thought, as well. But yeah, so Billy wants to deal with stuff, and
he wants to ask the new neighbor out on a date who Freddy's already shown interest in.
Oh no, right? not yet. He wants to deal with the Freddy stuff first, and everyone's like, "No, we're studying for tests." It's not until Darla comes in through the bunny portal. Who, by the way, Darla is wearing much like Dudley, a made up Shazam outfit.
Yep, a makeshift.
But she's like, "Yes, I've been keeping eyes on the target. Asset Alpha is on their own. You're clear to engage." And then it reveals what she's talking about, and it's the girl next door. the Billy wants to ask out. And there's a really funny bit here, actually, where she's waiting next to the car where her dad is, and Billy's round the corner. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to go talk to her." And he's with Darla and Mary, and he's like, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask her if she's from Tennessee, and then I'm going to say, because you're the only 10 I see." And both of them are like, "No, don't." And then Billy's like, "Okay, I'll ask a grown up." And he says Shazam. And then the next panel's the Captain going, "He said what? Absolutely not. Don't tell him that." And then he transforms back into Billy, and Billy pulls out this, I guess, cologne.
But it's like a body spray. It's like Axe or any of those, that teen boys bathe in.
It's deodorant, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's cologne, body spray, whatever. Along those lines.
And so he's like, "I'm going to use this," and then he Shazams again, and the Captain's like, "If you ever see Billy pick this can up, slam it out of his hands immediately." Shazam! And so it was just this quick switching between Billy and the Captain just disapproving of everything Billy's about to do. It was really funny.
It reminded me of when Dwight shuns Jim, and then has to talk to him about something serious at work, so he'll unshun and unshunned, and it was like Shazam, Shazam. It was a good laugh.
It was good, but of course, as Billy walks up to her, in pops Freddy's head, and of course, Freddy's like, "Hey, little bro, my younger brother." He keeps phrasing it that way, and it's clear that Freddy's trying to make a move already, and Billy's like, "Oh, is this your new hobby since the van died?" And it turns out that Bo, who's the girl, the next door neighbor, is like, "Oh, I've been following this app that follows all these supervillain things and stuff in the area, look, there's a giant robot apparently over here, and you see love hearts around her head. This is clearly something she's passionate about. It's like, you guys want to come? And like Billy's like staring wide-eyed. Freddy's standing there too, and it's actually Darla who jumps in and says, heck yeah, we are. Mary, come on, we're all going on a road trip. So it ended up being more of a family trip and not just Billy and the girl he likes. But also this girl's dad's here, and he loves puns, so there's a couple of bad puns.
He's very like Freddy-esque, right? Yeah, he loves to talk. He loves these dad jokes, and she kind of warns them.
Yeah, classic Freddy though, not this current dick Freddy.
No, classic. Yeah, the one from before he finds that greenish, nasty lightning bolt.
Yes. So yeah, they talk a lot. They drive up and this robot's there. The dad didn't know that's what they were driving to. He thought he was taking them to a concert. So she runs out. They're all like, sort of like, oh, what's going on here? I actually what I liked about this here is that Darla is kept involved as effectively their oracle, because they hand her like a phone or whatever and say, all right, keep us informed of like where things are and keep a safe distance. I kind of like them getting Darla involved, in this capacity while she doesn't have powers. That's kind of fun.
And they're getting her away to keep her safe as well.
Of course, yeah. They can't have her there in the fighting, but I like the idea that Darla still wants to be involved, so they're giving her something she can do, even now. So we get a full page spread where they all say Shazam, all three of them, which is a cool page. It's a cool page. I like the colors popping. I will say that I think McDade's art is... it's okay. Like I don't love it.
I'm not a big fan of it. It's very cartoony, and not in the sense that it really works with Shazam, when Shazam can be cartoony.
Yeah, it's got it just doesn't quite click in the same way that I think some of the previous artists that have clicked for me on Shazam.
And I agree, because that was my biggest takeaway from this is like some of the proportions are really off. Like again, just on the Shazam page, where sometimes the green lightning bolt on Freddy's takes up a bigger chunk, right? And so it's just kind of his proportions are all over the place. But I think that's just McDade's style, because if I look through, a lot of them look like that. But other than that, I think that the art's fine.
It's it's fine. I'm just not in love with it.
No.
It's okay. It's not like off-putting or anything, but
no,
certainly not art I'm going to be raving about later either. So they're fighting the robot. It's all going on, and we're sort of like teasing like whoever's controlling the robot is like hooked up to all these like green tubes and stuff, which is interesting on its own right. But ultimately, we hear this narration coming from someone. We find out by the end who it is, but they're basically saying, "Oh, Freddy's fallen into this trap of everyone dreams of being a hero, so he gets to be one, and he's thinking to himself that he's better than everyone. And I'm going to play in those desires and those insecurities that are fueling his entire thing right now." And as this is going on, the fighting's continuing. Freddy's fighting the robot. Billy's protecting, and I say Billy, I mean the captain, is protecting people from like one of those cell phone heart guys that were introduced in Josie Campbell's Miss Marvel run. And then Miss Marvel's protecting civilians. So they're all getting stuff to do. It's all kind of a nice widespread thing. And this guy in long hair comes up and offers a society like membership card to Freddy, which Freddy seems to be quite taken with, and is like, seems to be quite happy to take it. And then the reveal, and we see it's obviously Savannah, but like I don't remember the daughter's name.
No, just it's Lady Savannah.
Lady Savannah, yeah. So she's with the guy in the green too. I didn't quite get who that was supposed to be necessarily. But the guy with the long hair in the business suit who gave Freddy the card comes in, and the reveal at the end is that inside that man is Mr. Mind. So,
and that reveal of him coming through the eye
in silhouette, you get that last panel in silhouette, and then the full page spread in the last page is good.
By the way, her name's Georgia Savannah.
Georgia. That doesn't even sound familiar.
No. So I was like, it's got to sound like... And I'm like, wait, Savannah's name is Thaddeus. So it's not anywhere close. So I had to do some digging.
Well. Now, obviously, big Captain Marvel villain here. Happy for a Mr. Mind story. I especially like the part of like the Freddy thing started separately, where it's just because he picked up that artifact. I mean, maybe they'll say that he was already kind of in his ear, kind of like motivating him, But the idea that Mr. Mind's going to sort of use this and try and corrupt Freddy even more using these insecurities is, I think that's a fun potential to go here.
I mean, that's kind of what Mr. Mind's always kind of done, right? He speaks to those, kind of plays off. He's, you know, don't forget that Freddy found that thing in the same chamber where the 7 deadly sins are.
Yep.
Right? So it seems like he speaks to the worst parts of people. So having him pop out here, and then him even calling him, you know, not wanting to be called Master, just Mr. I thought that was a nice little character punch.
And Lady Savannah's involvement when we see her with the bad guys here at the end, obviously is like a little payoff to the mobile phone thing with the chest, because that was her whole scheme back in that Mary Marvel mini. So that already had like a little payoff in that sense, which is cool. So yeah, curious to see where they go with this. But I mean, I was loving all the interactions with Freddy and Billy. I was loving the comedy beats with Billy wanting to ask the girl on the date. You know, it was a super entertaining read and pretty much every front for me.
So sometimes you forget that they're supposed to be younger teens.
Yes.
Right? And that Mary's older, and then an issue like this comes out where they're acting like younger teens, and I think that Josie Campbell really gets that dynamic, you know, and so it's nice to be reminded every once in a while that these still are kids.
For sure. But no, I had a good fun time. What are you rating Shazam, Matt?
I'm gonna give this a 7.5.
I think I'm still happy to give it the 8, even though I didn't love the art. I still think I was so entertained, and it's like it's actually kind of weird we get this in Birds of Prey in the same week, because I think they both give me a similar kind of comfort feeling of like, oh, this is just always a pleasant time to spend with these characters in a way that you know, other books don't quite hit.